3 arrests have been made in connection to the deadly mass shooting at an Airbnb in Bath Township earlier this month.
This happened at a mansion party the day after Halloween. 18-year-old Elijah Wells was killed and 8 others were injured.
Annabelle Childers explains the new details just released from police on how investigators narrowed it on one of the teenage suspects.
What is the address of the emergency?
Somebody is hit.
In the early hours of November 2nd, Bath Township police were dispatched to this mansion on Top of the Hill Road for a shooting. Body camera footage shows us the chaos they found.
Who's hurt? She's in the house? Where's she at?
Investigators learned the mansion had been rented on Airbnb for a birthday party. Invites were shared all over social media, and hundreds of teens and young adults showed up. 9 people were injured in the shooting and taken to the hospital. And November 6th, one of the victims, 18-year-old Elijah Wells, died from his injuries. Over the last 3 weeks, police have remained tight-lipped, working alongside local and state agencies, including Ohio BCI. But in a press conference Friday morning, they gathered to give an update.
3 suspects were identified and several arrests have been made.
Chief Vito Sinopoli says 18-year-old Derquan Edwards was arrested November 14th.
That arrest stemmed from an Akron Police Department investigation of the theft of a firearm. Information and evidence obtained through the investigation substantiated investigators' beliefs that Edwards was a participant in the Bath Township November 2nd shooting.
Sinopoli says a 16-year-old male was with Derquan at the time of his arrest, and investigators later connected him to the shooting and arrested the juvenile. On November 18th, 19-year-old Jashawn Stewart was arrested by Akron police in connection to a vehicle pursuit. Police say a firearm was recovered connecting him to the Bath shooting, and he was arrested. Derquan Edwards and Jashawn Stewart have each been charged with 1 count of murder and 9 counts of felonious assault. The 16-year-old has been charged with 1 count of delinquency to commit murder and 9 counts of delinquency to commit felonious assault, which are the equivalent charges for someone underage. Now, throughout the press conference, the family of Elijah Wells was visibly emotional, and each official who spoke took a moment to address the gravity of the loss of life.
A young man with his whole life ahead of him was killed in a senseless act of violence. My heart goes out to his family.
Chief Sinopoli also making a plea to the community.
We urge parents and other adults who may have find themselves serving in a parenting role to remain actively engaged in your children's lives. Know where they are, who they're associating with, and what they're viewing and posting on social media.
Right now, police are not sharing a motive for this shooting, but the Summit County prosecutor made it clear he anticipates more charges are going to be filed in this case. In Bath Township, Annabelle Childers, 3 News.
Tonight, 3 News Investigates has uncovered more about those 2 adult suspects that Annabelle talked about, 18-year-old Derquan Edwards and 19-year-old Jashawn Stewart.
Now, Stewart was arrested Tuesday following a police chase in Akron. We received the police report from that incident, which reveals officers tried to pull him over for tinted windows, and he attempted to drive away but hit a police cruiser while in reverse. They say they found a loaded 9mm pistol in the car, which he was not allowed to carry, actually, because of a robbery conviction in 2023.
We also have new details on that second suspect, Derquan Edwards. Akron police records show he most recently allegedly stole a gun from a car and shot at the owner, who tried to confront him. Documents show this happened on October 27th, 6 days before that Airbnb shooting. Over the summer, Akron police also apparently charged Edwards with domestic violence and assault.
Well, during today's press conference, Bath Township Police Chief Vito Sinopoli referenced legislation being considered right now in the Ohio Senate. Senate Bill 104 specifically would take away the ability of local communities to regulate short-term rentals such as Airbnbs.
That would impact communities like Bath Township, which currently has a ban on short-term rentals. We caught up with State Representative Bill Romer, who represents Bath Township, to break down what this could mean.
What would happen if Senate Bill 104 were to pass, and again, it is in the early stages of its committee, it would eliminate the ability of local municipalities to regulate Airbnbs. And I believe that that is incorrect. What we need is the local officials making the decisions. If they believe Airbnbs are great for the community, that ought to be a local decision. They can work with their constituents on that.
Now, Senate Bill 104 is still in committee. Representative Romer tells 3 News a similar bill passed the House last season, but didn't gain much traction.